welcome back to 92 Guitar Shop. This week we're going to try and get this body all together, soldered together and done, painted on the inside, just ready to go, lightly sanded, not polished yet. Well, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And then after the body's done, we're going to switch to just a bunch of making some templates, jigs, making some tools. I want to get a bunch of neck wood prepped, neck blanks made out, just a bunch of production work that I want to get done. Lots of tools, lots of jigs. In fact, if you see behind me here, we've got a big piece of corian here that we're going to chop up into some templates. Got some corian over there we're going to chop into templates. So there's just going to be a lot of that kind of stuff going on this week in here. I picked up a piece of ebony for the next fretboard. I really like this one. In fact, I think I like this one better than the one that was on the first one. I haven't decided on a side yet. They both look about the same. It's going to be really good. I really like that. Anyway, lots of random stuff that we're going to do this week. Okay, I'm interrupting this intro to let you know that music this week in the videos is by Mr. Paul Welten, and it's somebody who's been watching this series and frequent commenter, and I just happened to click on his channel, and wow, was I blown away. There is some incredible music on there. Him and his friend Fritz, they're just incredible. Just such great rhythm, perfectly in time and in the pocket. Fritz is amazing with all the little things he does. Both of them playing Resonators. Great stuff. Go check them out if you haven't already. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for letting me put the music on here. So that's super cool. If we don't get taken down for some sort of copyright thing, then we'll get to enjoy some Mr. Paul Welten on this one. All right, here we go. Back to the intro. So the big task that we're going to start with right now is cutting the mini humbucker hole in this laser cut top that I have. I'm not looking forward to that. It's just like, man, this could go sideways easy, but I think we'll be fine. Anyway, that's task number one, cut a mini humbucker hole in the top. So let's get at it. Boy, I'm looking forward to the next version of the laser cut stuff that has the little tabs on it so I can find the center of this circle easy. Finding the center line on this thing, it takes me 15 minutes just to be confident that I've got the center. Now that I've got my center line established, I can start laying out this mini humbucker on here and cut this thing out. Man, this next set of laser cut stuff is going to be a huge improvement over what I'm dealing with right now. So, looking forward to that.
Sitting in the sun, not a care in the world, drinking a cup of Vienna cola and watching the river flow. Oh, I'm watching the East River flow, oh, river flow. Oh, I'm watching the East River flow, oh, flow. My girl's putting on makeup and getting ready to go. Oh, she's taking her time and let me watch the river flow. I'm watching the river flow. Oh, I'm watching the river flow. I'm watching the river flow.
Okay, I did not enjoy any of that. Well, the layout part wasn't too bad, but the rest of that, oi, that was stressful. But the result's good, so happy with that. I'll do the holes later, probably when I get the pickup, so I make sure those are exactly right. Boy, am I glad that's behind me. That was not fun. I think we can solder the sound well in and solder the top in, and then we can just get this body pretty well dialed. Here we go.
Dusk curling out, cars at a crawl on the Williamsburg, and I'm watching the river flow. I'm watching the river flow, oh, flow. Oh, I'm watching the East River flow. Oh,
Okay, I think that one's ready for paint. Soldering at that hotter temperature is so much better. Like, I feel so good about how well this thing joined. It's kind of neat when you solder it, as soon as you get the solder on there and you heat the tab a little bit, the solder just wicks right under there, and it's so good. Yeah, let's get some paint on the inside of this one, and then we'll clean up the inside of the body and get some paint on that, and then put this in the body. Okay, that looks fun. We're ready for paint. I'm going to paint the inside of the sound well on this one. I probably should have done that on the first one, since it's not highly polished like the rest of the body is, and it doesn't get waxed easily. You'd have to take it apart to wax it. So I probably should have painted that on the first one. So we're going to do that on this one. Okay, does the inside need to be that good? I don't know, but it's good. Just since we're talking about the inside of this, I was listening to an interview that the guy who runs the Ian Hates Guitars website, I think is Ian Davlin. Check out that website. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. He interviewed a guy named Matt Eady, who I had never heard of before. And he had a funny comment. He said, yeah, back in the day, the inside of the guitar didn't matter what it looked like to anybody until one day Santa Cruz came along and made them perfect inside and sort of advertised that. Like, look, no glue squeeze out, no, everything's beautiful and perfect inside too. And ever since then, everybody expects the inside of their guitars to be perfect. So pretty interesting, but I kind of like Santa Cruz's way. I'd rather feel really good about the inside and the outside. I have my door open today and I keep getting distracted by stuff going by outside. And they're looking at me like, why is this guy talking to himself? Pretty funny. All right, we're all painted and ready to go together. The top lip has no paint where it gets soldered, and the outside edge of the tabs, no paint on there. Like I said, I did paint the inside of the sound well. I think that's a good plan. Kind of wish I would have done that on the first one, but that's okay. I think we're ready to solder this thing together and have a body done. Oh, I'm going to cut the neck hole first and then solder this thing together and have a body done. It's looking good. I'm happy with this so far. It's going smooth and nice. Okay, that body is together. A little bit of cleanup work to do on the solder edge, but I'm really happy with that. It came out great. Again, that hotter torch is just such a nice piece of equipment compared to the little torch. It just goes together so nice. Okay, so that's that. All right, it's a cold day out here today, but got to get some work done anyway. Gonna cut up a bunch of wood into neck blanks so I can kind of get some production going on those. I don't know how much wood I have, how many necks I can get out of the wood I have, but we're about to find out. Here's the pile. Most of it's mahogany. There's a walnut piece in there. It's just nice wood. It's going to be great neck wood, and let's chop this up into neck blank sizes and get it produced down.
I trusted you. Oh, but boy, was I wrong. I thought you meant me well, but it was not so. Friends say you're the real deal, and your word good as gold. All the truth is, there's very little to you at all. You can count me out. You can count me out. From now on, you can count me out. Yeah.
Okay, that should be enough wood for 7.5. I just got this one random 7.5 necks right there. I think pretty sure I can get one neck out of these fat ones because they're going to get ripped down the middle and have a veneer in the middle, and then they'll be wide enough and they're tall enough. Yeah, That was a lot of work to get all that roughed out, but that's enough for 7 necks. So there you go. What's next is one of another million tasks, which I haven't identified what those are yet, but when I do, you'll find out. So I have templated the headstock, and I've made the, you know, this one, the slotted one or whatever. And I've also made the jig, which will let me drill out the tuner holes easily without any issues there. So this will just sit on top of the headstock like so. And then you drill, drill, drill. And then that should be the right height when this thing's sitting on the headstock. If not, then you just put something under here to make it the right height. Little spacer, you know, thing, whatever. You can see they're double wide, so they'll guide the drill bit just fine. So this jig that drills the holes in the side of the headstock, it's not a tight fit on this. It's a little bit loose because I just wanted some wiggle room there. It'll go to that point and then it stops. But that gives me room to just get this where I want it, clamp this down to the wood neck and drill. So that's cool. That's going to make things a lot quicker for me. Now I need to take this wooden template that I have, which is, you know, a little 3/16 thick or something, not very thick, and convert this into one of these Corian templates. All 7 of these necks are going to go so much faster than the first neck because I just didn't have anything to work from. It was the first one. So, and I didn't build templates for the first one because I was kind of winging it. But now I know what I want to do and I know how I want my neck to be. So I'm templating all this so that I can make this a bit more efficient. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Bunch of just pre-work before we actually do any work on the guitars. Okay, that's a bit more Corian than I probably need, but more is always better. In fact, here's where the neck template goes on it. So this thing's huge, but I have lots of plans for this Corian, so I think we're going to be good with that. I just went down to my local countertop place. There's a really big one here that just does a lot of cabinet and countertop work. I always offer to buy some of the scraps and stuff. A lot of times they're like, oh, just look in the dumpster, see if there's anything you need, and there always is. And this piece came right out of the dumpster, and it's huge. And this Corian's amazing stuff for templates. So if you've never tried Corian for your templates, give it a try, because you will like it, I promise. Well, I thought I videoed cutting that out on the bandsaw, but I guess not. I'm sure you can imagine it though, a blade that, you know, goes around and around and around and just cuts all this off. Yeah, that's what I did. Without the use of CNC or some other form of wizardry, witchcraftery, magical stuff, that's as good of a template as I can possibly make, and it's really good. So that's going to help me a lot when I go to make these other necks. Now I just got to clean up all of this white dust that it leaves behind before the Drug Enforcement Agency wants to talk to me about what's going on in here. Okay, since we're doing random stuff in this video anyway, I thought, well, might as well show you this. I have some ebony cutoff from the last fretboard. And these things, pretty popular to use ebony nuts on these resonators. So I'm just going to chew this thing up and cut it down into nut blank size and throw them in my nut blank drawer with all the rest of the nut stuff. Okay, let's just do that real quick.
I was waiting all night long.
Those are really rough, but better to have some really rough ones than none at all. So there you go.
I waited with my suitcase next to the door. One time I heard steps.
Okay, I couldn't help myself. I decided that a little bit more work now is better than more work later. So I just went ahead and sanded those up a little bit. Plus, when you open the drawer full of materials, it's always nice when you see something that looks good instead of something that needs a lot of work. So making my future self happy there. Yeah, you ever turn on your camera in time-lapse mode and then do the best speaking segment you've ever done, only to realize, oh, my camera was in time-lapse mode? Yeah, me either. Okay, anyway, I'm trying to decide on a neck blank here. So obviously, I always want to use the best one I have first. I'm trying to decide between these four, which ones I want to use for the neck. These are all beautiful. Like, any one of them is a good choice. I think this is my least favorite with the eye pattern thing in it. Not a huge fan of that. I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan. This one's probably my second least favorite. The grain's really nice right through here. It's real pretty, but it's really boring. Like right through here, it just gets really boring. This one is probably my third. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. That one's going to make a beautiful neck all the way through. And then this one is going to be spectacular. So that's what I'm going with. It just looks beautiful all the way through it on both sides. So I'm inclined to believe that as we carve this thing down, it's going to remain looking that beautiful inside. One thing I want to do slightly different than I did on the first one is the veneers that I put in the neck on the first one were pretty fat. They were pretty fat maple. And I mean, it looks good, but I would rather they just be thinner and nicer and a little more elegant than be so bold and kind of jump out like they do. They're just too fat. I didn't like the stripes on that one. The other thing about the first one that I wasn't thrilled with was I had those fat stripes in the neck, you know, here. And then I had really thin stripe under the fretboard, which was beautiful. But then I had a slightly thicker stripe on the two sides of the headstock. Hopefully I show some video while I'm explaining this of what they are. I didn't like how it was just all mismatched. It just needed to be one size all the way through to just make a nice, clean, consistent, pretty looking neck. So that's what we're going to shoot for on this one. All the veneers are going to be the same size, which is really, really thin. And try and just make this a little more elegant and a little nicer looking than the first one. First thing we got to do is rip this neck down the center. And then we'll come up with the piece that goes in the middle with the veneers on it, and then we'll put it all back together. Yeah, anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and make a better neck than just being lazy and gluing some ears onto this one and going to town. Okay, here we go. Let's cut this thing apart, and then let's start getting it back together as a neck blank that's ready for use. Okay, I'm going to start this neck process by ripping down. This is a really pretty piece. I'm going to start by ripping this one down into the width that I want, the width of this to be the width that I want the center stripe to be, which is really pretty thin. Ultimately, I need these to be where it meets the body to just have some wiggle room and just some play. I want it to be 2.5 inches wide. Right now, I think these are 2-inch wide blanks. Yeah, they're 8/4. This was 8/4 sawn mahogany. So they're 2-inch wide. So I need about a 1/2 inch of filler, which is just the two really thin veneers, and then the middle piece that I'll have in the middle here will make up that 1/2 inch. I don't need a 1/2 inch. I might go, 0.4 would be fine. Even 0.35 would be tight, but it'd be okay. So it just depends on how wide I want that middle piece to be and what I feel like it's going to look like. So okay, let's start by ripping that one down into probably about 0.35 inch width piece for the filler in the middle, and then the veneers will go on that. All right, here we go. Super happy with that rip. And then I ended up going way thinner than I was just talking about because I just feel like it's going to look really nice. I want a thin, nice, elegant one with two nice white stripes down this thin piece. So that's why I ripped this one the way I did. But I may just end up continuing to rip this board down into this size so that I can put these into those other neck blanks that are over there. I'll probably put them all into that. I don't know if I'm going to do that production work right now. I think I probably should, since I'm all set up for the width and everything. Okay, let's just do that. I'm going to just rip this board down to probably 2 more of these size ones, and then I'm going to move on to ripping those ones down the middle, those big fat ones over there, rip those down the middle and put the veneers in and glue them back up. Maybe I'll just get a bunch of them done today, I don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, I got 4 beautiful veneers out of that. Not veneers, but whatever these center strips would be called. I'm terrible with the lingo. I don't know what anything's called, but I don't care. Okay, so I got 4 beautiful pieces out of there. Every single one of those ripped, just wonderful. Happy with that. Okay, let's get this big one sawn in half. and then get this and the veneers glued into the middle of it and move on.
I got to make up my mind. Oh, yeah, there's no moving forward. I can make it saute or see what's around the corner. Nights can't feel calling through my blood. I would go trembling hand. I go to the window and I see the sunset and there. Oh, there's no help in sight. I wish I could go. I wish I could go. I wish I could go. I go to the window and I see the sunset, and there's no help in sight. I go to the window again and I see the sunrise, and still there's no help in sight. I wish I could go.
All right, that's a pretty sweet neck blank. I've got it out of the clamps and all cleaned up and trued up. Everything's square and perfect. I love this stripe with the detail. That's the width I was looking for with the thin stripes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was after. So that's going to look really cool when it's all done and carved and everything else. Going to trace the shape from the template onto the side here and rough cut it. Okay, that's all roughed out on the bandsaw. In fact, well, the bandsaw, and I also use the joiner to just square up some of the edges. But on it, and I could run this on the router table with the template, but I kind of feel like I probably don't even need to. Just clean up this curve right here, fix up the bottom, glue on the wings, and I think this thing's going to be good to go. Anyway, very, very pleased with how this thing looks. I love, well, I already said that. I like how it came out. It's just good. Okay, I'm going to leave us off there for this week. I'm actually feeling a little under the weather, so I don't want to push it too hard. I need to get some rest and come back to this thing tomorrow and glue on these wings and get this neck dialed in. Like I said in that other, I don't know if I'm going to run the neck on the router table or not. I may not, just because it's already so close that there's no point in doing that. But I think this neck's going to come together pretty quickly. Got to put a slot in there for the truss rod and get all that figured out. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of gluing on wings and veneers and stripes and things like that for the next little bit for me. So tune back in next week and you'll see all that happen. All right, thanks for watching.